smooth as lightning green, and I'm cold like Sub-Zero. Feel the.
What's up, guys? It's C from Coin Traders, and I just want to go over some charts of Bitcoin and a couple other cryptocurrencies. Do a little bit of technical analysis to see where it may be headed. Is it bearish? Is it bullish? I don't know. Let's draw some lines on the chart and find out. Today I'm going to go over Bitcoin, ADA, ETH, LTC, XRP, and IoT. If there's any suggestions or you want me to do some charts of a cryptocurrency of your choice, just let me know. Holler down below. But as for now, let's start with Bitcoin. So today is Tuesday, the 26th or 27th, I'm sorry, and Bitcoin is currently trading at 10,600. I did draw a few lines on this chart earlier. This is the daily chart of Bitcoin, and I drew this trend support line earlier, which we tested it about 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, and the low was around $6,000. So that was the low that we put in so far, and a lot of people are calling for retest, which is a possibility. So as of right now, we have been consolidating for about a month and a half or so in this bullish, in my opinion, bullish wedge, as you can see right here. It went up to a high of about 20 grand, and it's just, came down, retested it, failed. It has just been on this downward spiral, allowing for either people to take profits or for Bitcoin to consolidate with new buyers, potentially, big hedge funds and whatnot buying in at lower prices that missed out on the big run. As of right now, we are still in this consolidation stage, which a lot of people feel it's just a bearish trend, and we are going to break down completely. Now, a couple things that I have noticed on the chart is not only has it coincided with this uptrend, see how it's pointing up, support line right here at 6,000, but also too we have just created this intermediate, let's say, head and shoulders. As you can see right here, there's a shoulder, there's a head, and here's a shoulder. Now the only thing we need this bullish setup to do is actually confirm by breaking out over this this down slope consolidation channel, this wedge, this line here. If we can break that up, then we should be able to, which it's also creating this little cup in a handle. If this can break out, we are going to go and test this level right around 12,800. And if we can break that or consolidate around that, then we'll go up here and retest the 17,000 level, which will then eventually bring us to the 20,000 mark again. Now, how long is it going to take to reach there? I'm really not sure, as in the past it really started running pretty quick. I think it's going to, chop a little bit through these levels, maybe in a range between the 12,000 or 500 level to maybe 6,000-7,000. So it might chop around here, and if we could actually establish some higher highs and higher lows, then maybe we will continue this bullish run. One possibility is also too that let me just grab my brush. One possibility is if we do break this intermediate downtrend line, and we do retest this 12.8, it could come back and retest this channel right here. So whether it goes up here and then falls back down and retests down here, Um, that's also a possibility. In my opinion, if we could just break this consolidation wedge to the upside, then Bitcoin will see higher prices. Um, Also, too, I wanted to point out I did draw. Sorry, that mark is not what I'm trying to draw. Um, what I did do is I added these Fibonacci levels from the high down to the low, and it kind of established where we could be heading as a major intermediate top, and it's kind of coinciding with some of the levels. Some, big wigs on TV have talked about around 50 to 60,000 being. My line is at 64,000, 65,000. So, I kind of trust my lines, and I say that could be the top, maybe by December, maybe of next year. I don't know. I'm not a predictor. I'm just trading my lines. But as of now, it looks like this could break out, and 6,000 was the bottom. We could go and test this trend line, maybe in May or June. Um, Maybe at 8,000 by then might be the low. It just depends how much volume picks up, and if we can break this trend line, which I really believe that we can. And I think 6,000 was the buy-in opportunity that a lot of people missed. It created a tail. Also, too, if I zoom in and make this a little bigger so you can see, um, the Bollinger Bands that I put up right here, usually it gets pretty bullish when it pops up over this midline bully, and it actually stumbled at the top and came down and retested the midline bully. As of now, this midline bully is actually moving up. Last time it did this, it didn't move up. It broke over the bully back in time, a month ago or so, and this midline bully did not turn up. It actually traveled down, which is still a bearish signal, consolidating um, for profit taking and other entrants in. Um, so yeah, I wanted to show you that. So we popped over this midline bully. We came back, retested it, and now we went right back up to that trend line. Now it's not really showing a little power, and I do see a little topping tail right here, but we're still on this candle as today is Tuesday. So will we break through, which is roughly around, I'll say 10,900. If we can break around 10,900, um, to 11,000 and actually stay trading above it, um, I will be very bullish, and you'll see a lot more people start to buy it as FOMO will kick in, fear of missing out, and the buyers will come in. Um, Once it breaks this level right here, it should squeeze up into the 12,800 level, 12,900 level, and maybe maybe stick a tail out from there and then come back down to consolidate a little more, um, and then eventually test some higher channels. So that's my technical analysis on Bitcoin. If you don't agree, you don't agree. That's why it's a market. Um, but if you do, give me a shout out. Let me know you appreciate this video. Um, Now let's move on. Let's go to ETH, which is the number 2, and I drew a little bit of lines, but let's see where it's going. Let's see where it's headed. Um, and obviously, it's kind of doing this similar things that Bitcoin is doing, except in my opinion, this is a big bull flag. I'll just draw a little bit of. There we go. It also could be considered a bullish wedge, consolidating. It's got a W pattern. This is ETH. This is the daily chart. Let's go ahead and I'll add a couple more things, draw a couple more lines, see where it could be headed. Just like Bitcoin, it has been consolidating on this wedge. It came down. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Let me get in this tool. It came down and tested this this little support line. It actually could be a little higher. It's not the perfect trend line, but you get the gist of what it's doing. It's just consolidating in a wedge, and if it breaks out up through this wedge, which it kind of is trying, then we'll go retest some different levels. Some of the levels that we will test is this first one around 980, give or take, and then we'll also test this one also around 1224. These are fast lines on the daily. If I zoom in, I can get a better number, which I do on my own time, but this is just a brief technical analysis so we can see where these cryptos are currently headed and what kind of direction we may be in store for the coming days. I did not add too many indicators, as we could look at the MACD and the RSI and a couple other indicators, but this is just strictly some support and resistance levels that I'm trying to format to see where we could head. So it looks like it came down and tested about 568 level, give or take. Not sure if that's correct, but it did put a bottoming tail right here. It did right here. It came up, and obviously it couldn't break up, so it broke down. People bought it, it broke up, and now it's trying to create this little bull flag, in my opinion. That's what that pattern looks like. The only thing is we have not passed that trend line, and we are kind of trading under this midline bully, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing. So in my opinion, this probably could come back down and possibly test maybe this trend line right here around 620. And if that happens, then they all kind of coincide with each other. So Bitcoin could go down and test a little bit lower if it can't break out of that trend line. This too. So in my opinion, though, if this breaks out, we are going to go test this level right here, this 984, and then we could, consolidate a little more for a month or two, just to come down and then retest this line. And by then, this trend line might be up here, so the new low might be 694. If it breaks down, it could come and test that trend line, which coincides with the old low for a second retest. Usually things like this to retest 2 to 3 times. It could create either a double bottom or a third retest and pass from there, almost considered a triple bottom or whatnot. There's so many different terms. But yeah, these are the levels that we need to break out on ETH to continue higher. So it's definitely consolidating, and in my opinion, in the next coming weeks to days, we could possibly be looking at higher prices. And I am bullish on long term on all these cryptocurrencies, obviously, as they kind of are just consolidating, ready for a breakout higher. You'll see it make higher highs when it comes up and tests this, and then comes back and tests this support, which would be the lower low, and then I can kind of draw a trend line, something like this. I mean, it could do that right there. If it breaks, it's going to come and break out, come back and make higher highs and higher lows, and it's kind of starting to create that channel. So today's Tuesday. This could possibly be the bottom of this little uptrend channel, and if that's the case, then this would be a great buying opportunity. As it does look like it's making a bull flag pattern. So yeah, that's my theory on that. Let's see. Let's also add some Fibonacci just to kind of see um, where it possibly could be headed. Just quick, obviously. Um, Seeing that coincides right with the 50% retracement. See how it actually went right to the trend line and went right to the 50%. A lot of times they do that before continuing higher, went back down. It just needs to get over this bully with some power right here. I think it could possibly do it by tomorrow, or if not by today or tonight. So keep your eye on this, as you'll see some people jump in once it gets through this consolidation channel. And let's see, long term, if I did the same thing as Bitcoin, we could be looking at roughly $41,000 for ETH. Is that right? Or I'm sorry, not 41, 4,000. So we could be looking at about 4,170, not 40,000. Sorry, guys. But yeah, that's still great. I mean, that's over 3 times profit from where it's at. So let's go on to the next one. Agree with me or disagree with me. Let me know how you feel. I'm bullish. Bears could also say this is a bear flag and break down right here and retest this support, which I hope it does, because I want to buy some down here around the 650 level. That would be a good buy in my opinion. I'd scoop up a bunch right there, because I rode it for a little while when it was bullish, but I haven't been shorting it. Obviously, there's not many places you can short it, so I've just kind of been watching it, and I didn't get in on here because I was doing other stuff, but I would have liked to. Anyhow, this would be a good spot to buy unless it breaks down. Then look at the 650 level. If it breaks out, this might be a good spot also, or it might retest down here also. So, it's you just got to follow your trend lines and go with the flow. So that's my technical analysis on ETH. Let's go to XRP and see what XRP is doing. The Ripple, as this is a very popular one. I hold a lot from about 25 to 50 cents. I even bought some over $1. Let's see. And I actually sold a bunch over $3 at one point, and I've just been rebuying. I wanted to go a little lower, right to this trend line, which would be about 74 cents, so I could buy some more. I've heard talk of it going to 50 cents, which it could, which it did right here. I missed my opportunity, and that's why the reason I think Bitcoin might have seen a low at 6,000 also, just like XRP. I mean, there's got to be a lot of people that want XRP on a psychological level around 50 cents. I mean, all the people that got it at 25 cents, back in the day, are very fortunate, and a lot of them sold up here. I mean, that's what I did. I sold a lot. I collected it through this whole run and then sold it. And I actually bought some back around here on this dip just under $1. And I've just been holding it. Even though it's been going down, I'm looking at it for the long term. But I do want to add more. And these are still good prices in the 80 cents, in my opinion. And if you can get it under $1, it's a good deal. In my opinion, other people might say no, because of the whole decentralized theories of Ripple and whatnot. If you guys wanted to buy Ripple, I would look at it right around 73 cents to 78 cents. If you can get it in the 70s, I would jump on it. as this might be the low though. As to it's kind of creating um, some stuff like Bitcoin. Like, see, there's a bullish pattern of an inverse head and shoulders. That's if these levels hold, and then it could shoot up right from here. Um, it's a little bit bullish. It broke the wedge trend. If I draw a line like this, it came down, it retested this support level, and now it is kind of consolidating, creating a base, in my opinion. And it could consolidate for a while. I don't know. And others could look at it as a bear flag also. And it could go lower. Who knows? You don't know. So that's why I trade my trend lines. I don't believe um, it is a bear flag, though, although one could see it as a bear flag, as you can see right here, and it could actually consolidate lower, lower, lower. But it also could break out of this wedge formation too, either up or down. So you got to keep your eye out for that. If it breaks down, it might just try to fake some people out, some newbies and whatnot to sell their position. And it really, a lot of times, breakouts are retested. So in theory, it could go down to that 25 to 20, yeah, here it is right here, the 26 cents level, which is the breakout retest of then, which definitely would give a lot of people fear in the ripple, especially people that bought up here, whatnot. They'd be like, oh no. Um, so it could, in theory, break down if this is truly a bear wedge or a bear pattern, and break down and retest this level. Um, so it could. Um, Me personally, I'll hold either way, ball till I fall or whatnot. But um, if it does go down here, I will add, a good amount. I also will add right here if it goes down into the 70s or the 50-cent level. We'll watch it the next couple days. If this does start to move up, which this bully is starting to move up, just like Bitcoin, um, then we could see a potential breakout. If I do move this one um, a little different, let me just change this around a little bit, um, like that, then you could say it broke out of that pattern. Um, so it's just consolidating right now, in my opinion. It could come down a little bit and then slingshot up. I've seen that happen many times, trading stocks and options. So it could fool you and then pop up. I mean, we're at the beginnings pretty much, So it's gonna do some shifty stuff to people. Um, so just keep your eye on that. I mean, that's why they say hold, because if you fold right here and then it goes and tests this breakout, and then in 3 days it shoots up with candles like this, you're going to be really sad you sold. And that's the kind of moves that these coins do. I mean, these are daily candles, 1, 2, 3. You know, in 20 days, this thing shot up $4. Like, you don't want to miss those moves. Even from here, look at from $1.30 to $3, $4. I think the high was $3.30. I mean, it moved $2.50. I mean, that's big money in 5 days. You don't want to miss those opportunities. So don't sell your position for less. Just hold that sucker or add. If it goes down lower, be happy. Okay, so let me just add some Fibonacci retracement, just to see where this may be headed. It's all not perfect, so just bear with me. So if I do it from that level, let's see, we could be looking eventually by the end of the year at around $12 market cap would be really huge. But yeah, $12, is a predictive Fibonacci theory, give or take. So look for that. I don't know how long it would take. It could take 2 years, a year. It could take 3 months. I don't know what kind of news. There's been talk with the Ripple on YouTube with Amazon, and who knows? That would definitely entice people to buy hand over fist at $12. Plus the big dogs are in this, so they might want to run it up that high, in a couple weeks just to, make massive amounts of money. So, always keep that in the back of your mind too. Um, so in my opinion, these are good levels to buy. Anything under $1, buy it up, because it'll definitely retest the high of $3. So easily a three timer from where it's at, even just as an investment, buy and hold. 3 times your money. So, you put 5,000 in, you got 15 grand coming to you, or 20 grand, 15 to 20 grand coming to you. So it's up to you what you want to do. By no means this is financial advice. I'm not an advisor. I had to throw that out there. But these are some of the levels, just to watch. If it breaks that $1.25 area, then we're going to go up to this Fibonacci. And like I said in the other one when we were doing ETH, they like to go and test that 50% Fibonacci level, which is roughly around $2. It's at $1.98, give or take, but that whole number of $2 is right there. So they're going to run it to $2 no matter what. So if you can get it under $1, you can double your money right there. So that's XRP. I'm bullish, but there is some bearishness going on, as in all the cryptos right now, or just consolidation, in my opinion. So watch that one. Okay. So let's see. The next one I'm going to do, LTC, Litecoin. Obviously, this made a move out of the down channel, just like I'm waiting for the other ones to do, as you could totally see right here. Let me just get a little uptrend line going for you. Obviously, I drew some lines on this charting it because I do hold some Litecoin in my portfolio. Here's a little uptrend. These lines aren't perfect, but you get where I'm headed with it. It's still an uptrend very early on. So that's an established bottom for now. It would have to break this bottom and actually break this new intermediate bullish. This could be considered a dead cat bounce, or just like the other ones, you could see an inverse head and shoulders, another bullish pattern. I'll actually extend this out a little bit so you can see it right here. See? And it breaks up. So let's see, it went and it kind of tested this. Here's the 50%. There's a little spike here. My lines might not be perfect, so I'm not going to totally get into the nitty gritty. It looks like to me it popped up. It's making another consolidation bull flag, and this could be the right shoulder for it to blast up higher and go and test this Fibonacci level and this old temporary candle top right there around the 300, which is also around print number 2 at 300. They do like to test those round print numbers. And then eventually, if it can, consolidate more and keep making kind of instead of a consolidation pattern down, it'll make one up. And we could also consider this a V, and it could eventually break the high of around 4. 417, 420, something like that. And this one is bullish in my opinion. It just had a nice pop the other day to get out of this consolidation channel, which a lot of people think it's a bear wedge. I look at it as a big bull wedge with a bull flag. If it was the opposite way, then I would be more inclined to be bearish, kind of like how it's going up here. It could drop. If it breaks this support line right here, we could go back down and test this line. I mean, you never know when some news or something in the product development happens. That's the thing with these cryptos. You just don't know, so you got to follow the patterns and go with the flow. This Fibonacci retracement level, just like Bitcoin and the other ones I did, would take us to a high of 1446. So around 1400, 1446 would be the Fibonacci complete high. So let's move on to the next one. Let's see. We have ADA, and then I'll do Iota and call it a wrap. ADA is, I haven't even worked on this one yet. It's definitely been bearish. Let me draw a couple lines and just see where it possibly could be headed. Sorry. So it broke down through that upswing channel when all the cryptos were bullish, and actually had this tail way over here, way up here when it first went on the scene. And I have these, let's see, that's sats, what is it? So let's see. I'm just drawing a couple lines to kind of play with it, see where it's going. It's kind of at some support right now. As you can see, it got bought up with these candles. They came down, people bought them, popped back up, sold again, people bought them up. So it's kind of at this this level right now. I think the product, is obviously still being developed. So, it's more speculation at this point in time. The market cap is big. But from a technical analysis point of view, it just hasn't broke above this bully. Hasn't even had a nice bounce. It had one right here, which kind of broke that up out of the channel. And actually I had bought this, and I'm still holding, currently underwater right now. And if it does come down to this level, around 20 cents, which would be the retest of the breakout, that would suck for my portfolio, but at the same time I would be happy, right here around 20 cents, so I can add a lot and actually have a better buy-in spot, as I do like the company and I do like the project personally, and I do hold a bunch of it. So that's why I'm checking this out. These are just levels, that it obviously has gone through. So, sorry, not all these levels are perfect. And actually this one could be come down right there. So it definitely needs some work. It is at some support right now. And you do see this green candle. A lot more selling than buying, as it is a speculation at this point in time. I do like this for the long term. I really do like their project. But, there's not a lot going on with it right now. Just a lot of, it was kind of more of a pump and dump. At the beginning, they pumped it up, and then they sold it off pretty heavily, and it's just kind of been stagnant. Do I think this takes off again? Yeah, I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 days. It popped up that much, consolidated a little bit into a bull flag, which gave you another opportunity to buy. And then it popped up again. I mean, that whole month was just so bullish for cryptos. Everybody jumped in, and I'm sure we will see another pop up like that again. Just be sure to at least sell half so you could take a profit and then dump the ones that you bought up too high or whatnot. So this way you can keep some, for the long term, um, until this project is developed and we start to see higher prices. Let's see what the Fibonacci holds. Let's see. Bear with me. This is still the daily chart, so let's do it just like the other one. Let's just see where it could go. So looks like $6. So possibly $6. I'm not sure when. Maybe next year. Just depending on how Bitcoin moves and how the project's developed. This thing could pop up in one day. You could be sleeping and wake up and it could come test this line right here. $1.60, $1.40, to $1.70. Once it breaks this $1.40, it's going to $1.70 easy. It's going to go test this big tail from when it first came on the scene. So, yeah, that's my theory. If it's at 20 cents, you better be scooping it up. In the 30s, it's still a great buy. This is a great buy, in my opinion. So get those wallets out. This is the time to start stacking them, in my opinion. Could it see further downside? Yeah. I know I looked at a chart the other day, and the MACD did look like it was starting to turn over. So we could see some bullish pop here pretty soon. So hope you like that one. Okay, so the last one I'm going to do is Iota. This one has just been creating a huge consolidation. It's just been consolidating for so long. Other cryptos have had awesome pops, whereas this one has not really done a thing. I have been in it for a while. I actually got in some good prices, but these have been real good prices. I wish I could have got in at the $1.50 mark. I think it's trying to make a base right here. You might be able to get the $1.50 again. Keep your eye out. In my opinion, if it does go down to the dollar range, obviously that's a buy. It could retest. I don't know if it'll go down 50 cents. You never know with these cryptos. If you can scoop it up around $1.10, if it does come down and test this candle wick low, that will be a great buy. Or something like right here, if it comes down lower, 98 cents, this will be scooped up in my opinion. Technical analysis, though, it did break up over the bully, came back to retest, and now it's breaking up. In my opinion, this is bullish as of right now on Tuesday. It's trading at $1.93. We have seen it trade these levels, quite frequently, so it's hard to judge if this is the bottom. But just putting a little channel in, it could be considered a bear flag, but it's not until we start creating. If it is bearish wedge, okay, which I'll kind of draw a bearish pattern, but also, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just showing you that it could be considered, a bear flag if it breaks down right here, and you could scoop it up for $1, and then it might bounce and go higher. If it does continue to the upside, this will be pretty fast and furious, as up here is some major retest spots, this 447 area, 450, anywhere up in the $4 range right here. There's, this is a good spot to sell some, just if you're trading, if you're buying down low, which that's what I do. So I want to accumulate more down here. I hope it goes lower so I can buy more. But that could be it right there, as here's the low, and it actually made a higher low right here and a higher high. So this could be the start of a bottoming pattern, which I've seen before many times, and it kind of does look like that. It's still early in the pattern to decipher exactly if this is the bottom, as it's always hard to call tops and always hard to call bottoms. And that's something that I don't do, as I've learned in the past, trading stocks and options. But as of right now, if this breaks above the $2 range, that would be pretty bullish, and we will go up pretty quick to test $2.50. And then here's another $3 mark. As you can see, it's kind of coinciding with $2.50, $3, all these kind of like round print halfway marks. It's trading like every 25 cents, 50 cents, a dollar. So if it breaks out over that $3 range, it could go right up to the $4 level. As there's not much levels. Maybe actually, here's another level, 350. If you see, it's been tested many times in the past. See right here, 350. So all these like 50-cent levels are about where it's trading at. So just so you know, here's the $2 range. It's right around here. So it's looking a little bit more bullish to me now that it's over this midline bully. I don't have the indicators up as of right now, but I'm liking this pattern right here. You could actually enter right here to $1.89 with a stop at $1.68, or even the low $1.50. But I wouldn't use stops. I would just keep buying. So that's what I would do. I just keep accumulating from this point of view. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, if it breaks that level, then we could see continuation up a little higher. Let's see. Also, bear with me. I'm just drawing lines to kind of, see where these are going. So in my opinion, that could be the uptrend right there. That could be the bottom. I mean, it has been consolidating for some time, and we could go retest the highs. The retest of the highs was at almost $6. Let's say 550. That's where I would be looking at. 550. So $2.345. So you can get another $3 off this. It's going to retest that high sooner or later. And usually on that second retest, it does break through a little bit. It puts a little tail and then comes back down, consolidates, and then the third time it breaks out to new highs. So keep that in mind. Let's see, I'm going to put the Fibonacci just like I did with the other ones, just to kind of see where it's going. And then we'll call this a day. I'm going to go down to this low right there. Okay, and it's not, it's on the daily. It might not be perfect. So, do your own due diligence. This is kind of just a rough, established look at where the top of all this fib could go to. And it's kind of stating about $20. So you can look at the future as $20 for this stock. I know there's other predictive measures that have said $30, $37. So $20 is a good estimate, though. That's where I'm going to look at as I trust my lines. And definitely, do your own due diligence. Let's put it down a little lower. So I'll look for 1880 to take some off after accumulating down here. I really like Iota's project too. Or Myota. But yeah, just as a technical analysis perspective, that's where I see this headed. So hopefully you guys like my technical analysis video on these cryptocurrencies. I'm going to start to do them more often if I get likes. I'll try to do one once a week to start and see if you guys like what I'm showing you. And if you guys got any of other cryptocurrencies that you want me to do some technical analysis on, just let me know, and I'll try to include them on the next video. Thanks for joining Coin Traders.
All things ain't what they seem. You'll get washed, even if you're way too